Well, the D-Day is today. Arsenal is going to be playing away in London, and I think Chelsea is one of those teams in London that have gone ahead to paint it blue, ever since Abramovich came in through. I think no team in London has gone ahead to register the success that Chelsea has gone ahead to obviously register. I all know that way back it was Arsenal, the pride of London, and Arsenal went ahead to paint the entire London red. But when Chelsea came in through, they had to paint this entire city blue because they have two Champions Leagues, I think 2012 and 2021, Then they've won, I think, more Premier League titles than Arsenal, I'm talking about the Premier League, Talk of when they won it the very first time when Mourinho came in here. I think they won it back to back. Then Mourinho got sacked. Then there came Ancelotti. I think he lifted it. Did Ancelotti lift it? There came Conte, lifted it. Mauricio Sarri lifted it. I think they have it like 5 or 6 times. That is Chelsea for you. And they've gone ahead, obviously, put in a very good shift. And they're rebuilding under Enzo Maresca, under Toddy Boyle and Egbeli. So I'm going to be showing you how Arsenal charged up for the Chelsea tie. That is really going to be very important for the table because, remember, we are heading into December, Christmas period. And as things stand in this beautiful game of football, Liverpool are now having 28 points. They are 10 points clear of Arsenal and they are 5 points clear of City because City yesterday went ahead to lose to Brighton by 2-1. What does that mean? It means that all what Arsenal has to do is a win. And I tell you, this is a must-win game for the side of Arsenal. I don't know how they're going to win this game of football because my prediction was a draw. But if you ask me a win, I gave it to the side of Arsenal. But all in all, I want to let you know that a lot is on the cards for Arsenal. And they have to obviously come up and find themselves winning this beautiful game of football. Welcome to this channel. Smash like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name and Mono Gadgets is what you have to be running to if at all you need a phone that is really brand new or a laptop that is really brand new. Even if you need a used phone and a used laptop, call them on +256 70 9988 665, and that is Mono Gadgets for you, and they'll obviously bring you the latest that you deserve into this beautiful gadget game. So call them to that number. Go to TikTok, you can as well find them there too. So that is what you're really coming in through from the side of Mono Gadgets. Now let's get into the game of football, right? And let's see what Arteta really had to say about this beautiful game of football before I really bring you the charge of Arsenal into this beautiful game of football that is going to be played in London after United plays against Leicester City at Old Trafford. Now, Arteta on whether this game is a must-win given the teams we're competing against. He said, especially because we have missed certain points in the last few weeks. The margins are becoming smaller and smaller. That doesn't mean the margin doesn't exist anymore, but more perfection is going to be demanded in the future. For sure, we want to win. We have to prepare, and we have to prepare to win it. And that's the only thing that is in our heads. Obviously, if there is anything that Arsenal fans can go into the international break rejoicing about, is winning this beautiful game of football, because you know to it that when you return, City is going to be playing Liverpool. You get? And if I told you an Arsenal fan, you will only want a draw out of the fixture of Liverpool and Man City if you win this game of Chelsea. Remember, if Arsenal wins this game of Chelsea, they'll go to 21 points. They'll be 4 points, I think, behind City. No. City's having points. City is having 23 points. Arsenal will be 2 points behind City and 7 behind Liverpool, meaning that if Liverpool draws with Chelsea, if Liverpool draws with City, all City beats Liverpool, Arsenal will be at 24 points, closing in to being 4 all 5 points behind the side of Liverpool. And that can only be very beneficial in the side of Arsenal if at all one Arsenal beats Chelsea. All the mathematics as we head into the final 6 games to obviously mark the first half of the season, Arsenal needs to find themselves in a position of really doing the needful by coming in through and putting in the shift to beat the side of Chelsea. And that's why the manager is like, they are fine margins and this is really going to be a hard game. So they need to win this game. I tell you, if there is anything they need to do, this is a win they must get. And it will be a big turnaround, when Arsenal really goes to Chelsea. And if at all they win, it will be a very important win. But Chelsea is also not an easy nut to crack. Arteta, on what he's made of Chelsea's progress, said really impressed about Enzo Maresca's really impressed about what Enzo Maresca has done, but they've done over a year because with Mauricio Pochettino, the last 6 months were extraordinary. You could see the squad, the quality they have, the amount of players they have, and then Enzo has given his touch, and you can see clearly what he wants to do. I think he's been really brave from day one to consistently follow what he wanted to do. I know how he thinks. I know a lot of people that know him well and are very happy that he's making a lot of progress there. Obviously, Enzo Maresca is really making huge progress. He's making huge progress at that side of... He's making huge progress at the side of Chelsea. And he knows to it that he has built a team with a very specific style of play that obviously Arteta wants to play against. By the way, Arteta enjoys playing against teams who really want to play an open game like Chelsea. And I know today he's not going to come out and say, let me go head to head with Chelsea. I think he won't. He'll be like, let me respect them and let me hit them on the break. And that is one thing that Enzo Maresca needs to understand, that when you're playing such big games, you have to respect your opponent. And if at all he doesn't start respecting his opponents, he's going to start losing out on points. I tell you, you just can't come out and obviously say, I'm going all out for a team like Arsenal. Even if you're at Stamford Bridge, it will come out and shock you. The only way Arsenal will fail to obviously open up Chelsea, if Chelsea comes up with an open game, is when they miss out on their chances. But if they are clinical on the day, Enzo Maresca will have to check his tactics, because even Arteta was like that. You remember, very excited in the season of 2022-2023, a season where he best implemented his style of play, and all of us were like, all right, it's really gonna go down, And he tried to go head to head with Man City, and you saw what happened. Going head to head with Liverpool, he ended up dropping points. So, yet he went into those games when he was really the favorite. Then Arteta on how to handle the threat of Cole Palmer. That's a question that probably all managers in the league have had in the last year also, and he still managed to impact games in the right way. Obviously, we have a plan, not only for Cole, but to minimize all the quality and threats that they have and try to exploit their weaknesses like any other team. Now, for Cole Palmer, he's really going to be subjected to what we call a late fitness test, because Lisandro Martinez, in the game they played over the weekend, went ahead obviously go for his boots, and it said he's really injured. But I think they're just playing mind games, according to me, and this play is really going to be a variable. That's what I really believe. So he's like, they are not going not only for Cole Palmer, because for him, he's a threat to any team, and every manager would obviously have that question, and he would like to look for answers. But the entire quality players for the side of Chelsea. That's what Arteta really had to say. And Arteta, on if the title race is over, if they don't win today, said, I don't think about that. And he's really very, very on point. So that's what Arteta really had to say about that game of Chelsea. And let's go into the final charge of Arsenal players down at the Sobha reality training. So that is Arteta, the gaffer, obviously trying to really conduct training sessions at Arsenal. This is Julian Timber trying to do the needful, and obviously putting in a shift there. And that is Raheem Sterling, fully charged for the day. And remember, he's out of this encounter because he's still a Chelsea player and they loaned him to Arsenal. There is no way he can play against his bosses unless it's in Europe. And there is no way they're really going to meet up in Europe because Arsenal is in the Champions League and Chelsea is in the Conference League. Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes obviously trying to have a conversation amongst that centre-back pairing. Gabriel Magalhaes, big Gabby, all smiles in there for you. And that is Martin Odegaard, obviously returning in training in the midweek. And he had some minutes against Inter Milan, and he's happy to see him back because he's really very pivotal in what Arsenal goes ahead to do on and off the pitch. And they've been missing the quality of a player like Martin Odegaard. There he goes, tying his shoelaces as he looks on and prepares for the side of Chelsea. Zinchenko, one of those players that I think his time at Arsenal is coming to an end because Arsenal have really gone ahead to obviously find out that maybe they don't need a player like him. Unless otherwise, Arteta comes up with the plan of really improvising to play him in another position, not the left back. Arteta looking on. Odegaard, obviously with the ball and obviously trying to do what he does best with the ball. That is Saliba, obviously doing the needful, and you're seeing him there very, very, very well, doing what he does best. He was like screaming for the ball, and he's one of those players that is not in his best form, and we pray to it that he really gets back to his form. But we all know to it that that slump obviously happens in anybody's career, and for Saliba, I think this is one of the times where he needs to obviously work hard and concentrate. But that rest he got when he was red carded against Bournemouth, I think will obviously do him better. Saka, obviously star boy, trying to obviously issue instructions in training sessions. And this is Saliba obviously passing the ball. Ethan Nwaneri trying to obviously take off. This is heaven sent, right, in training session of Arsenal. And this is David Raya, one of the best goalkeepers in the league right now. Obviously, his form at Arsenal has really gone ahead to give him a very good goal to displace people like Unai Simon from the starting position of the goalkeeping department of the Spanish national team, and he has gone ahead obviously be respected and given that chance to obviously lead Spain there. Sakaring and cooking during the training session they had at the Sober Reality training session yesterday before they traveled to London to play against Chelsea. This is Martin Odegaard, the magician, the happiness of all Arsenal fans, because when you see him obviously charging like that and marauding into those spaces, you obviously get to know that he's going to be into the starting 11. And I think he's one of those players I came up and obviously said he must start, and there is no way they're not really going to start him because he deserves it. He deserves it as a guy. He deserves it there, and that's what has going to obviously make him better. Odegaard doing the gaffering job in there for you, not gaffering, skippering job in there for you, and he's really putting in the shift that is really well required in there. And that is Mikel Arteta obviously looking on, and this is Jorginho obviously doing the due diligence into the mix. Then he was also really trying to pass, and by the way, he really has high chances to start if Mikel Merino doesn't really recover and Declan Rice. Big Gabby looking on as you see him there. Then Saka obviously smiling, and you know what it means. He's really a jolly guy and he's really having a fantastic season. He's really trying to break all those barriers in there for you. Odegaard looking on, and Arteta obviously trying to issue instructions in there for you. Saliba obviously getting instructions, I think, from the coach that really coaches defenders, and he really needs to listen to them because his standards are really dropping off a little bit, and he needs to obviously show up at his best. Thomas Partey also was part of the training session, and as I told you that Partey has kept himself fit more than ever since joining Arsenal in 2020. He has kept himself fit. That is Partey for you. Ethan Nwaneri doing what he does best. Jorginho doing the passing as being pressed by Leandro Trossard. and then Martin Odegaard trying to put in what we call a tackle into the mix. Partey obviously trying to offer support to William Saliba as Saliba tried to dribble towards the opponent's area that he was really being drawn to. And you see to it that Partey is really putting on the same bibs with a Saliba, and that really speaks huge message. Trossard obviously trying to take on Saliba and Thomas Partey during the training session that was conducted at the Sober Reality Training Center. Lastly, we go back to Arteta walking onto the Sober Reality Training Center as he obviously issues instructions. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. It's the 10th of November. The game of football is on. I tell you, the game of football is on. Arsenal versus Chelsea. Chelsea hosting Arsenal today. Big game. But before we go into this game, obviously, what is going to first show up is United hosting Leicester City. Ruud van Nistelrooy. You get? Ruud van Nistelrooy. Obviously, Ruud van Nistelrooy's last game at the club of Manchester United. I'm out. See you later. Continue to subscribe. Rokani David is my name. I'm out.